What is going on, everybody? Pete Simonetti here for NYY News TV. Jumping on a little early so we can get everybody to join, take a seat, relax, and then we will start up from there. So guys, do me a favor here and go ahead and share this baby out. Let's get a few things shared out, and then we will start up. We got a few topics to actually cover today, so kind of excited about that we do have some things to talk about. Not just trying to bullshit to get stuff out there. We actually do have a couple of things to discuss today, which is actually exciting. And a few things I want to also touch on that I think a lot of people don't want to touch on. So we'll chat about that too. So let's give it a few minutes. We'll get everybody in here to join, relax, take their seats, and we will jump right into it. Actually, matter of fact, now that I think about it, this is my first live chat on NYY News TV, but not with everybody else. Just Simonetti and friends right now. This is the first time I'm doing this on here, so it's pretty interesting. Pretty exciting, but I got three main topics, three things I want to talk about today for a few minutes, and we will get the ball rolling here momentarily. It's just about 9 o'clock, and if you guys don't mind, please go ahead and share this baby out. I am going to go ahead and do the same thing myself. And then we will jump right into the madness. No baseball, I get it. But again, there is some news. So let me go ahead and one more time share this baby out. I'm going to share it out here. And one more spot. Give me a second, guys. And then we can jump right into this thing. All right. Perfect. Well, anyway. Don't know how long this chat is going to be today, to be quite honest with you guys. I don't know how long we are going to go, how long I'm going to stay on here. But we'll do some time together like we committed a crime. We'll do some time together like we committed a crime. So guys, hello everybody. Again, thank you for being here. Ludin, I see you. Hirsch, Fritz, Lonnie, Tyler, Jared, Edwin, Enzo, Brooke, Ra. Good old fam Ra, what's going on? Unicornio Ra's in the building today. Unicornio Ra, I like that. That's a new Ra. Unicornio Ra. All right, guys, so we're going to jump into a couple of different things. There's a couple of topics I just want to go over, and I figure, why the hell not? Let's do it live. I said, let me make a video, and I said, you know what? I haven't done a live on the new channel that's just between us. I haven't done that yet, so this is it right here. Let's get right into it. Not a lot to talk about, guys, you guys know. But we do have news. Thursday feels like the start of, hopefully, the end of all this madness and nonsense. And then we can get baseball back and move on with our lives and just have a great time going forward. It announcement was made. I don't know who was the original person to break it. I don't care. I don't even know who the first person I saw that saw it. David, I love it, man. Vince McMahon voice, always important. Always important to break the Vince McMahon voice. We got news on Thursday. Sorry, guys. I can't help myself. But Thursday, MLB is expected to make their offer to the Players Association to see what it looks like. Now, look, guys, this doesn't mean a deal's going to get done. This means nothing, really. This just means that at least we have the economic talks starting. They're going to give their proposition, their proposal, and then we go from there. So that's a great thing. At least we have an understanding that these guys are actually going to talk. Chess is being played however you want to see it. There's a strategy behind all this, but we're getting somewhere. You know what I mean? We're getting somewhere. There's at least movement. There's something here that we can all sit back as fans and go, good. At least something is happening, right? And again, we don't know what's going to be in that offer. It is MLB's turn. The Players Association already kind of did one. Now MLB's going to do the counter offer, kind of like my cousin Vinny. I see. So you're giving me a counter offer. They're giving their counter offer, and we'll see where it goes from there. I'm like, a lot of people already said, don't expect a miracle, but to be knowing that there's actually something going on, some sort of movement, that is a positive step in the right direction. Of course not what we want. We would love Thursday to come around and miracle happens and boom, we got baseball coming back. But it's likely not going to be something like that immediately. It's still going to be ongoing negotiations. But here's the thing. I've told you guys this for a while. When I went to the Italian American Baseball Foundation's gala in Brooklyn, at my table was somebody who works for MLB and is really good. And he knows this stuff, been around the game for a while, been working for MLB for quite some time. And he said flat out, he said, Pete, look, there's no lockout right now. There's only a lockout if it's getting closer and closer to the end of January and there's been no movement at all. Because at the end of the day, remember, once February hits, the owners are going to be a little uptight to make something happen because they don't want to lose money. These owners make a lot of money during spring training. Let's be real here. They don't want to lose out on any type of income. They've already lost money during the COVID stuff, and they don't want to lose money again with something like this. They want to make something work any way possible to get the ball rolling in the right direction. Maybe you gain some traction from this. Here's the thing. If you can get an agreement on a few of the issues, this is a major plus. So if these guys could sit down and go, you know, we got this for this thing, for the tax luxury, whatever, luxury tax. We got this, we got the DH we all agree to. We got playoff teams we all agree to. That would be big. If there's a start there, arbitration, we figured out. There's how many years a player is up to be a free agent. When those arbitration years start. If all that stuff could be agreed to, similar things, a couple of those are agreed to, that is really good. That's a good step forward. That's what you would want. You just want this meeting to go smooth. The last thing you want is a 5-minute proposal and everybody goes, yeah, that's it, we're done here. Because then you're playing with that immovable force and meets an immovable object type thing, and you know, you're kind of stuck where you were before with no end in sight. You need to kind of start getting to that end in sight. And I do think that the owners at some point are also going to want to get something done. And of course, the players want to get something done. So hopefully something works out. Then I got more on this any minute. But you guys, you know, as you're in here, throw out your questions and things like that. I'll get to those as soon as I can. But the next thing I want to talk about is maybe a little touchy subject for some people, okay? But again, here at NYY News TV, we are real talk for the real fan, so we're not going to bullshit. We're not going to bullshit. I got to come to the defense of some people I don't even know. I have seen some people make regular comments about two things. One, the girl that is playing, and I'm sorry if I don't know her name. I don't have her name in front of me, but I've looked into all of her stuff. I've read a lot about her. The girl that is playing in the Australian Baseball League, that's in the professional Australian Baseball League, about coming, you know, maybe being a first major leaguer in the major leagues, a female. Okay? I've seen that, and of course, Rachel Balkovec. I'll talk about that also, because I've seen some people bring up good points. And of course, the way Twitter is if you bring up anything or say anything that a certain amount of people deem negative, you get attacked for it. I've seen the sweetest, harmless comments get turned into, you are these misogynistic tweets and blah, 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 blah. Well, let's dial it back a minute, okay? I saw somebody, no joke, fam. The girl that pitches, the female that pitches in Australia, somebody simply asked, she's 17 years old, how hard does she throw? And everybody went ballistic because he can't ask that question. He's not allowed to. He wasn't allowed to ask a simple question like that. Think about this for a second. He wasn't even allowed to ask, how fast is that ball that I'm seeing? Jesus King Chavez, my friend, he said, my boy Simonetti, yeah, fired. Sorry, I needed to do it. I can't help it. Anybody gives me a Vince quote, I'm going to do it. But that's the whole thing right there. I mean, you got people that are upset that a fan simply asked, how fast? Now, here's the issue that I take with that. Why would you get upset, yet you're tweeting about this girl potentially competing in Major League Baseball? That should have been part of the tweet. That should have been part. Jesus King Chavez, my friend, I appreciate it. He said, get them likes up, people. Let's go Yankees. Get them likes up, guys. What are you doing? That should have been part, in my opinion, of the original tweet. Look, do you find it? Do you find it impressive? Yes, that is awesome. Look, there should be a women's baseball league. Here's my question to the feminist. All of these feminists out there who you can't even ask a question when you're trying to get a girl into a man's sport. You're trying to get a woman into a man's sport. Cool. If she can compete, fine, dandy, awesome. But you can't be offended if somebody asks a legit question. This dude was like, what did I say wrong? Bro, whoever you are, you said nothing wrong. You asked a very fair question. You asked a fair question about a 17-year-old girl who throws her fastball, by the way, in the low 80s, and the curveball that we saw was horrendous. That is not saying something bad. God bless her. She's got further than a lot of men are going to get in their professional life. That is already an accomplishment. But when you want to blur the gender line so much as we're doing now, when we're seeing men dominate women's sports because they wake up one day and go, I feel like a woman. Have you guys seen the transgender swimmer who is literally obliterating every woman in swimming? But, when he competed with men, he wasn't that good. Why are we at a time where we can't even admit that there's a physical difference between a man's capabilities and a woman's capabilities? That's my issue. And for all you feminists that get so upset that somebody simply asked, well, how hard does she throw? Because that would get crushed in the major league level. For all you feminists that ask those questions, why have you all not pushed for a woman baseball league? I think that should be happening. I think that's terrific. There should be a woman baseball. Here's why. If a woman baseball league happens and these girls are throwing, how awesome would it be if you see a lefty throwing 88, maybe 91, maybe 92, and you go, damn, you know what? This chick got it. You know what I mean? She got it. This girl might have a shot. And that is awesome. I think that is everything that somebody can get behind. Everybody can get behind something like that. Everyone can get behind something like that. But the issue here remains that you can't even ask a question about this. My dude was like, yo, I'm going to stop tweeting. This man was beat up with soap and socks. Just bah, 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 bah. Because this dude simply just asked, how hard does she throw? And there's nothing wrong with that. This girl, look, and at the end of the day, let's also remember something else here. Men at 17, okay, could look like Barry Bonds before steroids. When they reach 25, 24, 21, 22, 23, they can look like Barry Bonds when he took steroids. And that's with or without steroids. Okay? This is not a knock on female sports. This is not a knock on a woman ever entering MLB. This is the fact that you have to be able to speak. You have to be able to have debate. You have to be able to ask a question. And my dude simply asked, how hard does she throw? Because what I saw at this level, even in low A ball, she'd get destroyed. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. That doesn't mean when she's 19, she may be throwing 88. She might. I don't know. I'm just saying, you have to be able to defend your topics if it's truly your belief. You have to be able to say, hey, you know what? You're right. She doesn't throw hard enough to be in the major leagues yet, but she's 17 and she can get there. The girl already got this far. Maybe she'll get there. And maybe she won't. Maybe somebody else sees her younger and they start throwing more. Brad, I got way different information than you then. I got way different information than you. Because per my understanding, when I reached out to a few people and people that actually have been on this hype train of her already, they told me she doesn't top out below low 80s tops. So maybe if she's throwing 87 at 17, that's friggin' impressive. If she is, and Brad, if you are right, if she's throwing 87 miles an hour at 17 years old, she could probably still get a little bigger. Girls, of course, don't get as big as men naturally. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Moving on. Let's move on. Jesus King Chavez again. Hey, thank you. But you could have gave that to 161 River Ave, man. But I appreciate it. 161 River Ave. What's going on, man? Moving on. We're going to move on real quick. Let me get a drink. Because, again, if the bullies want to come my way and think I'm saying something wrong, you're welcome to come. Trust me. Your boy don't run away from nothing. I faced death once. It's okay. All right? Ever since that day, there ain't too much that can scare me. Rachel Balkovec. This one's a little different. Okay? This one's a little different. Well, Brad, look, let me tell you something, Brad. She wasn't throwing 84 that day. She wasn't. The video highlights that we got, you're looking at, and again, I don't know what the radar gun said. If you're telling me that fastball she threw was 87 miles an hour, you are out your mind. You are out your mind. And if you thought that was a good curveball that we saw, you're out your mind. So again, not a knock on the girl. It's small footage. It's small footage. It's barely any footage whatsoever. But if you want to play that game, you have to be able to answer questions and not just say, oh, you don't want to see a girl. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's a real question. So if she got to the major league level, should we treat it differently? If a female gets to the major league levels playing with these guys, should she be treated differently? Should we say, well, if she bats 220, that's impressive. If she slugs 332, that's impressive. No. Not at all. Not at all. Oh, Brad said he's seen her live. Okay, well, if she look, Brad, if she throws 84 to 87, that is friggin' impressive. And I hope she could get up to 88, 90, 91. Because I would love to see it. Even if it's at the minor league level in America. I would love to see it. Love to see her compete with the men. I would love to see it. Moving on to Rachel Balkovec. Here's another thing that I brought up because, again, the same type of thing happened where I saw somebody say, and listen, let me break this down for you guys, okay? Somebody said, well, I don't think Rachel Balkovec could be a man or should be a manager because she's never played professionally. I disagree with that. I 100% disagree with that, okay? Here's why. Let me explain to you why. There are also coaches in college, which is not professional, that never made it further. Again, Blake never, and there's actually the new guy. Some of the new guys never did the same thing either. So to say that you can't manage a team because you haven't played professionally, that is That's stupid. That's stupid. Let me tell you a point that you can bring up about Rachel Balkovec. NYYST did a good job of bringing up a tweet she said a long time ago that said she doesn't like hitting off a tee. She thinks it's pointless, okay? Anybody with hitting fundamentals will tell you hitting off a tee is actually very dynamic because it actually helps in the way you drive through a ball. You could do the one arm tee work. You could do either arm, left or right, and that actually allows you to drive through the ball. But she has been a coach for a long time. Strength and conditioning, of course. She's, her body is absolutely terrific. This girl's in amazing shape. Obviously, strength and conditioning is a huge plus for her, which helps also on the management side. She got a lot of ability there. And also, she's been under some really great people who know all this stuff. But here's my question. And I actually am not going to take credit for this because somebody else brought this up. And I said, you know what? That's actually a point. Leaders have to lead from the front. And typically what that means, let's say for an example, you have a job and you are a manager of a grocery store. And that grocery store says, okay, hey, look, we got to get donations for the Special Olympics. How we're going to do that is when a customer is ready to check out, we need you to go up there and start speaking to them and tell them what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. Okay? Well, a good leader typically would say, even if he's just a leader of that department, they typically would say, let me go ahead and do that by doing it this way. Let me go do it by being, let me lead from the front. Let me show you it. Let me model it first. Then I'll have that conversation and we'll do that. What somebody wrote was, what would happen one day if in low A Tampa, a Jason Dominguez, maybe a 18-year-old kid that is pretty good, he's learning, he's doing this. What if one day he's frustrated and he looks at Rachel and goes, or snaps or gets mad, he gets angry and he goes, you never done this, you can't do this. Or hey, how about you go do it? How about you go up there and show me how to hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball? And again, I'm not saying that is the right thing for a player to do. I'm simply bringing up a question that somebody else did that does have some backing to it. That's all I'm simply saying. I think she's deserving of her job. I think she should be the manager, and let's see how she does. People are going to care more about what Single A does this year because she's the manager. Fair or unfair? Probably unfair because nobody ever gives a shit. This year they actually will. Because if they struggle, I told you it was because of that. And if they do good, you have the other side. I told you, now she can move up. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Then, of course, there's the whole other woke issue that could scare you down the line. It wouldn't happen right now, but 10 or 15 years from now, are we going to get a book and an investigation into whatever the friggin' thing's called? What is it called? What was the hashtag for years? About the whole sexual assault stuff and all that and harassment. Oh, man, I can't think about it. Oh, my goodness. What's the hashtag? But, Jay, Boone already done that. See, that's the problem right there. See Jay Garcia's comment? Can Boone hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball now? But see, I'm not making this into an argument. I'm simply saying that somebody can bring that fact up. And she's going to have to be well-versed enough, which she probably is, she's very intelligent, to flip that on somebody. But don't think that a woman in Major League Baseball or in minor league baseball is not going to be challenged on what she may not know because she's a woman. That's just a fact. That's going to happen. The Me Too movement. There you go, Ricardo. I don't want to see 10 or 15 years from now, all of a sudden a book is written about her experience with 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old players. Because if you don't think that could happen, I question your intelligence on what we've seen over the last 5 years in the world. Then you got a whole investigation. And there's the other topic of the locker room belongs to... a man's locker room could get rather nasty. Let's be real. And again, this really has nothing to do with if she'll do a good job or not. These are just points that you can legitimately ask and not be attacked for asking a question like that. It's a simple-ass question. You don't think one of these young players may say something inappropriate towards her? What's the reaction from that? Where does that go? Where does the level stop? Where does it end? Where does it begin? And Jay, maybe you're hard of hearing or you just pay no attention to me. I've said that before. Blake never played professionally. He's a terrific pitching coach. He played college. He's a terrific pitching coach. But you're making it, when you bring that up, you're making it a whole gender fight. I'm not doing that. I'm simply saying if a person brings that up, it's okay. A person can question that. That is not an illegitimate question. That is not a question that should be automatically dismissed because, oh, she's a woman, that's why you're saying it. No, I'm actually legitimately interested. There's nothing wrong with being legitimately interested in the question. These are exact questions you could bring up. These are questions you can bring up. And yes, for a woman, it's going to be harder. Of course it is, because now all eyes are on it. Like I said earlier, do you think people cared? You can ask Yankee fans right now, what was the Tampa Tarpons record last year? You think they're going to know? Most of them wouldn't know if they're a plus 500 team or below 500. Most people probably wouldn't even be able to tell you. I bet next year they would. And that is the stupidness around it. Is that people will take more of a caring into what happens because of her being a woman. And that's stupid. That is stupid. But to ask a question that is realistic of concerns that what could happen, what may happen down the line, when you're entering a woman into a male clubhouse, especially with younger level guys. That's all I'm saying. We'll see how that goes. Do I expect it should be an issue? No, because people should know how to conduct themselves. But there's always people who don't. How will that affect that person's career? Will that person be kicked out of the minor leagues and never able to play again? Will that person be banished? That's all I'm saying. So again, I am all for Rachel's hiring. I actually reached out to her. She's seen my message. Not a response yet, but maybe we'll get an interview set up and I'll ask her this directly. It is A-okay, folks, to question anybody. Again, do I think a man who thinks they're a woman should play in female sports? No, not at all. It's insane. Jason, that's enough. I mean, all these points are valid. And that's the problem, is that people don't even want you asking a question. That's the issue. It's either just say congratulations and then go to sleep. You can't say nothing else. You're not allowed to talk about anything else after that. But there is nothing wrong with asking legitimate questions. That is the problem with today's society in general. Today's society in general has a problem because people don't want you to, when you do it, they want you gone. They want you canceled. That's the problem. And you know what, Jay? I don't even believe in the old timers or old this, old that. I don't even believe in that nonsense. That's just the word that people are using now to set a divide. There's new age and then there's old school and there's new school. The old school guys don't know nothing about analytics because they're old. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Sparky Lyle was talking numbers before everybody. And Johnny Gonzalez, here's the problem again. Look at your comment. Here's what, and this is the problem with society right here. You're watching it live. That's why I do these tests. I did it with the people when I said cancel culture in a title, when I actually like analytics. Okay? I did it with them, and they didn't even watch the video. And right away, they thought that I said analytics is garbage, just look at average. I never said that. Look at Johnny Gonzalez right here. And Johnny, there's nothing against you, but look at where you went immediately. When you know I never said anything bad about her. You are right, but give her a chance. When did I say not to? When did I say anything bad about Rachel? I never did. But society has started to program in people's minds. If you question something, it's because you're against it. I never said don't give her a chance. I started this off by saying she deserves her position. Again, if it could be seen here, I don't know if it can, just to show you how real I am, and I don't bullshit at all, I can actually probably, if you guys can see it, I could show you right here where we've actually been in contact. Where is it? This is just how nice I am. Rachel Balkovec. I don't know if you guys can see this. You probably can't see it, but she's seen my message. That is a video that I made and posted. Okay? I don't know. I'm sorry with the blur and all that nonsense. If you guys can see it. Okay? Seen my message, and I'm waiting on a response. Okay? I've said nothing bad about her. Jay Garcia, I agree with you 100%. I like analytics, but there should be a blend plus common sense and strategy. That's 100% how I feel. I feel the same exact way. There's nothing wrong with giving her a chance. She deserves it. Look, guys, the girl has busted her ass. She's busted her ass. It's not her first organization. Cardinals, all the way up here, continue to elevate and come up. Good for her. All I'm saying is you are allowed to ask a question. Look at Jim Duggan over here. Leave her alone. Guys, what have I said bad about her? Am I proving my point yet? Nobody said anything bad about Rachel or the pitcher from Australia, the female pitcher in the Professional Australian League. Nobody said nothing bad. Questions, folks. You're allowed to ask them. This is why society is currently tanking and people don't even know how to have conversation anymore. Because it's either assuming and that's it. And you can't have both. You can't ask a question and support it. You can't do that. You're not allowed to. You have to just shut up and accept it and be happy. You got to shut up and don't throw your questions out, bro. It ain't time. That's the society that we're living in, unfortunately. But NyynewsTV will break that mold. I guarantee you it. We'll either break the mold or people who have subbed will just leave. But we're going to be so damn big. Guys, get used to seeing my face, okay? Get used to seeing my face. There's going to be a lot. Anyway, moving on. Just wanted to get that out there because, again, guys, let people talk. Let people have a conversation. Don't just not credit them at all. Let them have let them ask a question. Don't start beating them up because they asked a simple question. I mean, for example, would anybody get mad if the Yankees drafted some pitcher and somebody goes, "Hey, how hard does he throw?" That's a common question. People got pissed when they asked how hard the Australian girl throws because apparently you're not allowed to ask that, but yet you want her pitching in the major leagues or professionally in America. I mean, first thing I do when I look up a prospect or want to know about him, I either contact a scout I know and I say, "Hey, do you know anything about this guy?" Or I look up a good scouting report from somebody I trust. That's how it goes. That's life. All right? Moving on. Bob Nightingale. I can't believe I'm actually talking about Bob Nightingale. Bob Nightingale did a report where he went around and asked some people involved in the MLB side and then some people involved in the player side. Ruben, what's going on, man? What they think a deal will look like. And he released it. So I wanted to go over those one by one and we'll discuss them. Okay? Here we go. Let's go ahead and go into some of those. Give me 1 second to pull it up. Okay. First one is there will be a universal DH with pitchers no longer needing to pick up a bat again. I am 100% behind this. No doubt in my mind, the universal DH needs to happen. The biggest reason why, let me tell you why. Baseball's more of a business now than it is anything else. The contracts are insane. The last thing you want to do is, again, let's talk about the Mets for a second. Give a guy like Mad Max $40 million and then not see him or see him get hurt running the bases. Chim-Ming Wong, all the injuries we've seen throughout the years of pitchers trying to hit, pull an oblique, something along those lines. That must happen, and I do believe 100% that will happen. Number 2, the playoffs will be expanded from 10 teams to at least 12 teams, but likely 14 teams. I would need to think about this. I don't know how I feel about this too much. The thing I like about it is it allows teams to be more competitive that may not feel they are competitive. It gives teams more of a hope that maybe we can win when we didn't think we could. I like that. And and then I guess there's the selfish side of me that also says I don't like it in a sense because maybe I don't want an undeserving team to be in. Maybe I don't want a team that's a 500 club to be in the playoffs. That's the way I feel about that. So, do I expect that to happen? Yes, because you know why I expect it to happen? The owners are going to make more money. It's money. Most of this stuff could be narrowed down by money. It's going to happen. Money rules all. Cash rules everything around me. That's how it goes. Jay, I'm right there with you. Jay Garcia, I'm right there with you. It builds interest, but it dilutes the playoffs. I agree with that all day. And even if like Luden, you're saying you disagree with me, but here's the thing. Not even that I agree with it. I know how baseball is. It's money. They're going to make a lot more money with more playoff games. The good thing could be maybe some of these clubs will be a little more competitive. That's the good I see from it. I expect it to happen. I don't expect it also to be too much of a fight for that to happen. Next, we have... Wow, and I just got rid of the damn page I needed. 1 second, guys. Sorry. I had it all pulled up here, but I just took it off. That's the wrong thing. What am I looking at here? Sorry, guys. 1 second. I literally just took it off. Right here. Here we go. Hold on. Okay. One moment, fellas. My bad. There's quite a few of them, so I want to try to run through them here as quick as I can. I actually got a call I got to get on here shortly for NyynewsTV. We are working on something. We'll see if we get something going. Let me find it one more time. It should be coming up. Thank you guys for staying with me. 1 minute. I had happy fingers and closed it out. I just had it here. Did I pass it? Here he goes. Okay. All right. So the next one is the minimum salary will rise from $570,500 to at least $700,000. I think that will happen. I don't know if that number is going to be 100% correct. But I do believe that the average salary should go up, and it should. The average salary should go up. I think it will. That's a pretty simple one. I think that happens. Next one, we have the luxury tax currently at $210 million will start at $230 million with incremental raises each year. I love that. I'm a little concerned that 230 will be the start number. I'm a little concerned about that. I don't think personally the owners are going to agree to 230. Remember, they came out first with 214, and the players were like, "That's it. No, we're done. That's a non-starter. That's a non-starter." That's the thing that bothered me. The players, and that's screwed up, by the way. That's not a good offer. If they can agree on 230, even if it's increments of 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, that's terrific. That's a great start. 230 is a hell of a start. If they agree on that, I'll be shocked. I do love the number. I am not as confident that they'll agree on that, though. But I absolutely love that number. Players still would need 6 years of service time to reach free agency or turn 29 and a half, whichever comes first. I don't know if the players are going to be too excited about that, but that's also a tough one. That's a tough one. Players will be eligible for salary arbitration earlier than 3 years or Super 2 status if they make the All-Star team, reach a certain WAR score, or attain other incentives. I like that. Believe it or not, I like that. I do not think that should start for every single player. I like the idea that you incentivize that to get younger players to look to perform even more and to stay at that level. I think that's terrific. I love that. I'm a fan of that all day, every day. I think that's terrific. When it starts, 2 years, like they said, they come up, maybe they're a rookie. The thing is, you got to be careful about how owners would manipulate that. They call a guy up half a year. Does that only give him the next year to do? Does it go by at bats? How would that incentive work? Manipulation is scary, and that's the only thing that you got to worry about a lot of these things. Teams cannot receive a top 5 draft pick in 3 consecutive years, no matter how awful the team is. I love that. Teams should not be able to tank. Teams should not be allowed to tank. You may agree with that or not, but to make the game more competitive, we'll take away those top 5 picks. If you do it 2 or 3 years in a row and you're just terrible, you're obviously not improving, you're not looking to improve, which shouldn't be the case, we're not going to award you. I like that. This is the one I hate. There will be advertising logos on uniforms, perhaps even by your favorite betting sites. I cannot stand this. Folks, like I said before, I don't necessarily believe in the whole old school approach and new school approach. I think there's a blend of the two that you can do. I am not a fan. Maybe because this is NYY news, of course, being the New York Yankees. Maybe that's why I don't like this idea of advertising on jerseys. The last thing I want to see is a friggin' DraftKings thing on the Yankees' beautiful tradition of a pinstripe jersey. I can't. No. That should never happen. That should never happen. And if it does happen, Hal Steinbrenner, who I don't think he would because I don't think he has the balls enough, should come out and immediately say it will not happen for the Yankees. The jersey's too iconic. I don't want to see DraftKings on the sleeve. I don't want to see Bigelow T on the sleeve. I don't like that. I do not like that at all. If that's the case, destroy all your traditions as the Yankees. Let guys come in with long hair and giant beards. Let them give it all up. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that one bit at all. Again, maybe because I'm a Yankee fan and that's the team I care about, maybe that's it. No more 7 innings doubleheaders with ghost runners no longer coming into the games in the 12th inning. Great. There should never be a 7-inning doubleheader. Takes away the strategy of the game. I understand, it's shorter. You're less likely to use a lot of guys. But you got to leave. Baseball is a strategy game. Baseball is a game of strategy. It really is. You got to be strategic in baseball. And you should be able to allow that. And this brings it back to that. I hated the runner coming in. I hated all that. It was nonsense. The maximum number of pitchers on a staff will be limited to 13 in 2022 and 12 for the duration of the CBA. So to give you a year to adjust, to have it 13 in 2022 and then go down to 12. I don't really give a poop, to be honest. I think you can have the extra pitcher, which is usually 13. I think that's fine. 5 of those guys, maybe 6 of them are somewhat starters. And then you got 6 other guys or 7 other guys. I'm okay with that. I think the roster being a little larger is not a problem. Never had an issue with that at all. I think you should be able to do that. I think that also helps the minor league guys maybe get a shot at the major league level. And I think it opens doors for some guys that may have not got looks before that may be able to go to other teams then after that. I think that actually helps. And I always was a fan of that. The last one is a pitch clock will be incorporated. I hate it. I hate that. I hate the whole idea of a pitch clock. I think it's ridiculous. I'm not a fan of a pitch clock. I've never been a fan of that, and I never will be a fan of that. I just think it's stupid. I think pitchers have a lot of stress already as it is, being a major league pitcher. I think you got a lot of work they got to do anyway. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Sorry, guys. Just got a message I had to look at for a second. But we'll see what happens, man. That's truly all I got for you guys today. Again, not a ton of information out there. Guys, just pray that baseball comes back. We need baseball back. It's, of course, not as exciting. We are running content for you guys. We promise here at NyynewsTV, we will find stuff to talk about during this lockout. We will figure it out. Trust me. It is what we do here. And when baseball is back, there is no other place you need to be than right here with Team NyynewsTV. No other spot. So if you're not subscribed, guys, please go ahead and subscribe today. Be a part of what we're doing here. Tell your friends, tell your family about it. Tell them what we're doing. The more the merrier, as I like to say. But things are going to be very, very nice here at NyynewsTV, especially when the season begins. It's going to be really, really exciting. But other than that, guys, tomorrow is Wednesday. That means there's the next episode of Twin Bill. Make sure you guys check those guys out. 7 p.m. Twin Bill tomorrow. Again, 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Twin Bill premieres. And we will go from there. I didn't talk too much about the hitting coach. Again, Eric Hinsky, I like his NYST mention, is also mentioned today as a real possibility. Cameron Maben, I like. Eric Hinsky, Curtis Granderson. Those are 3 names I think would be absolutely terrific. So, guys, with that being said, I am going to jump off of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for subscribing. We have so much stuff coming your guys' way. Catch you next time. Thank you, guys.
Before it hits the front page, NYynewsPete.